my channel, and today we are starting another weekly reading vlog. Will this one actually be a week? We'll see. Reading has not been going well for me the past 2 weeks, so last week's vlog, if you watched, you will have seen me struggle. Because last week's vlog was actually a 2-week vlog and I hit a bit of a slump. And like the thing is, final book support group week, like I didn't actually end up having a lot of time on like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But like last week, I had so much time and I just spent it on YouTube. And like the thing is, I wasn't even like watching videos I wanted to because I cleared out my watch later list. I was just watching crap that was showing up in my recommended. I got, there was some true crime stuff, there was Grey's Anatomy compilations, like, yeah. This week, obviously, so Friday is the 1st of April, I believe. And that means it's the start of Realmathon. And I cannot be in a slump in Realmathon because I am the leader of Ascana and I need to set a good example. But also I'm in a bit of a slump. So the first 4 days of the week are going to be trying to claw out of this slump. And then Friday to like Sunday, we're going to get some serious reading done. I think the first books that I'm going to read for Realmathon are going to be a reread of The Shades of Magic, which will get me out of a slump anyway. And I actually think that's what put me into the slump, was kind of Gallant. Not necessarily Gallant, because immediately after Gallant, I read The River of Silver by S.A. Chakraborty. Loved that as well. So like, but I really so badly wanted to reread some V.E. Schwab. And I was like, no, I'm going to save it for Realmathon. And I should have just read it. But I did save it for Realmathon. And so those are going to be my first books. And I think that'll put me in a good mood and a good start. Step 1 towards defeating my slump has already happened because I have read and finished The Burning God by R.F. Kuang. So I started this Thursday on St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, so that was Thursday the 17th of March. And it took a while, but I enjoyed it and I gave it 4 stars in the end. But when I put this book down, I just did not want to pick it up at all. And like when I was reading it, I was enjoying it, but oh, I did not want to pick it up. I'm watching Cassidy's sprints. She's doing some Patreon sprints. And yeah, and I don't think I'm going to do any more reading now. I think I have a small bit of studying I need to do because I have an exam on Thursday and then like go to bed. But I wanted to finish The Burning God today and I have done that, so I'm like happy enough with what I've done. The next book that I'm going to start is Call of the Bone Ships by R.J. Barker. So I will start that probably tomorrow. I think I might get the ebook of it because I own The Burning God physically, but I actually ended up reading it as on SCRIBD as an ebook, and I don't think they have R.J. Barker on SCRIBD, but I might get the ebook because I was able to like fly through it way easier. But anyway, so The Burning God, as I said, I gave it 4 stars. So this whole series, it follows Rin, and she is a peasant girl with dark skin, and she comes from a very poor province, and she studies really hard to get into this military academy, and when she gets there, they immediately kind of shun her. They don't think she belongs, and here she is trying to prove herself, and then they're all learning about war, and then a real war comes, and they all learn the difference between learning about it and the actual real thing. The very end of it was a satisfying ending for me. But I feel like I feel like some of this should have been cut out. I felt like some of it was so repetitive. And then I felt like some things were not developed enough. And so I feel like it was just missing something. Like they would have this plan. They would go and like the walking to get to the plan would take ages, and then the plan would take like 10 pages, and it was really weird pacing. So I think that was what my main issue with it was. I enjoyed the characters. The side characters I really love some of the side characters, and I think it is fascinating to read from Rin because you're kind of, she's very morally grey, but like you generally don't know like which side is right. And I think the answer is like no one is right. I think R.F. Kuang does a good job of showing that like all of them are kind of crappy people, but that's like necessary. And you know, all of what they are going through is just a constant cycle. And I do think it was interesting. I did like that there was less of the religious aspects than there was in the Dragon Republic, but I still think the Dragon Republic was my favorite. I mean, the Poppy War and the Dragon Republic both got the exact same rating on Callpile, but I do think the third one was my least favorite. But again, I'm not sure, did the Burning God cause my slump, or were they just going to start slumping anyway, and the Burning God just happened to be the unfortunate victim of it? I don't know, but either way, it was a 4 stars, which is still obviously a really good rating. It means I really liked it, and the politics and all of that are always incredible. It just, I didn't love it as much as the others. So yeah, because the others were like really close to 5 stars, whereas this one I feel like would be a lower mid kind of 4 star. Hello, it has been a while since I have updated you, but it is now the 1st of April, which means it is Realmathon. I updated you on Monday because I read The Burning God and I was like, I'm gonna break my slump now. And then I read 20 pages on Tuesday, and then I didn't read anything on Wednesday or Thursday. But last night at 12 o'clock, I joined Cassidy's sprints that to start it all off, the kickoff sprints for one sprint because it was 12 o'clock and I wanted to go to bed. But I did it to prove a point. Last night on sprints, I started a Darker Shade of Magic, which I would like to say it is a reread. I can't remember, is it my 5th time reading it and my 4th reread, or is it my 4th time reading it / 3rd reread? I can't remember. Either way, it's a reread and I'm very excited. And I'm already this much through it. So I read 77 pages last night, and then this morning I did some of my own sprints, and then I went and I studied for a while, and now I have 100 pages, not even, I think I have 90 pages left to go. And oh, I love this book so much. This book is like a hug for my soul. It is such a comfort read. Like, I love it so much. It cheers me up so much. Like, I've been laughing at so many points. I just love these characters so damn much. I adore them. Okay, that's all. That is all you need to know. But yeah, so Mel has sprints on in about 50 minutes. So I might actually try and finish this before then. But anyways, that's the major update. I'm reading in Dark Shade of Magic. I'm loving it, as always. So yeah, it's gonna be a 5 stars. I already knew that. Hi, so it's been a while since I updated you. I mean, I gave like really quick updates. So obviously my weekend plans were ambitious and I did end up failing. Very sad. Not by much, and I'll finish A Conjuring of Light today, so it's fine. I read A Darker Shade of Magic on Friday. Loved it. Gave it 5 out of 5 stars. They're all rereads. I feel like I speak about them a lot, so I don't really have to tell you either what they're about or why I love them. I just do, because they've buried their way into my soul. And so far, this is my favorite one. Again, I'm so confused. Then I read A Gathering of Shadows. Again, I read this all on Saturday. And again, 5 out of 5 stars, but I liked it less than A Darker Shade of Magic this time, which is weird because last time I preferred this. So, A Conjuring of Light, I only got 500 pages into. So, so I got that much into it. So I have that much left. So it was pretty good. See, the thing is, because I was also studying this weekend, so I was doing about like 3 or 4 hours of studying plus reading an entire book, which was very difficult. But I forgot. I was like, okay, this is totally possible because I like had a little bit of time at the end of each day. But I forgot 2 things. Number 1, that I would be in the car for an entire hour. And number 2, that the text is a lot smaller in A Conjuring of Light. Because I was like, okay, it's 600 pages, so it's only like 100 pages more than A Gathering of Shadows, so I can definitely pull that off. I forgot, though, that text is like so tiny. I can probably do it in about an hour and a half-ish. I can probably finish it. So that's fine. But this is my 4th time reading them. And it's really weird because the first time I read them, A Darker Shade of Magic was my favourite, then A Gathering of Shadows, then A Conjuring of Light. And then the second time I read them, I think it was A Gathering of Shadows was my favourite, followed by A Darker Shade of Magic, followed by A Conjuring of Light. Or I can't remember the exact order. And then the third time, it was A Conjuring of Light was my favourite, A Gathering of Shadows, A Dark Shade of Magic, or something like that. I can't remember the exact order. I think I have them on my Goodreads, on my review of A Conjuring of Light. Every time I read them, I update what my order of preferences. But this time I'm reading them, and it's gone back to the original. So it's gone back to A Dark Shade of Magic as my favourite, followed by A Gathering of Shadows, followed by A Conjuring of Light. I mean, I'm still 5-starring them all, I'm still loving them all. Maybe it's like the mood I'm in, I don't know. But something about like A Dark Shade of Magic, maybe I was just looking for something a little more cheerful, because I think that's like definitely the most light-hearted of them all. Though definitely all of them have like their like entertaining kind of more like funny moments, but I was just like laughing my way through the first one because their interactions and everything is just so amusing to me. I guess it keeps it interesting each time. So I'm taking some books up to unhaul to give to a second-hand bookshop with me. You will probably see that video either before this or it'll be the one after this. I might listen to an audiobook on the bus, or I might watch some YouTube because of the fact, like, I haven't watched any YouTube basically this weekend because I've been trying to read so much. So I might catch up on some booktube, or I might listen to an audiobook, because I think this week I want to start Vampires Never Get Old, which a little more V. Schwab, but like V. Schwab's story I think is the very last story in there, so it'll be a while before I get. And then I'm starting my buddy read with Lizzie of The Lost Year by Rick Riordan, and I have that in my bag in case I want to do that. But I'm gonna go up there, I'll have my class, and then I'll probably stay in the library for a couple of hours and try and get all my studying done before I come back here. And so then I can kind of relax and get as much reading as I can done. Hello, so I'm just doing a really quick update because I have 2 minutes and 40 seconds left on this sprint. So I finished A Conjuring of Light. I may have cried. Oh, so embarrassing. This is my 4th time reading them. Why am I crying? I love it a lot, okay? So I finished it. It's obviously 5 stars. No surprises here. So I'm on Cassidy sprints right now, and as I said, so now we have 2 minutes left. So I'm currently listening to Vampires Never Get Old. I started it on the bus because I wanted something to listen to, and I'm enjoying it so far. Like, some of them are more interesting than others, but it's an anthology. I kind of expected that, but it's just different takes on vampires. Some of them are vampire slayer stories, some of them are vampires, some of them are romance, some of them are just wanting to get out of the place that you're living and all of this. So it's quite a mix. The one that I'm currently reading is like the guidebook to the humor in it is brilliant. It is so funny and it is so entertaining, and it's very like, it's talking to you, and yeah, so I'm really enjoying this one. I think this is my favorite one so far, but I've enjoyed all of them so far. I haven't like disliked any of them. I would say they're all like 3-4 stars. So yeah. So honestly, the audiobook and the book for that is actually really short. It's like just under 300 pages. So I might actually try and read the whole thing tonight. It is now Wednesday. I don't know when I last updated you. I think I updated you when I finished A Conjuring of Light, did I? Yes, I did. I love that book so much. And then like yesterday, she shared a snippet of Threads of Power, and oh my god, I'm just so excited and so terrified for that book, because I mean, she's gonna hurt my favorites. I just know it. But also, I can't wait. I love that world so much. I love the characters, and I know that like the main characters are new, but like our original characters also have a pretty big role, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know, I'm so excited and so very terrified of it. But yeah, that probably won't be until like next year, so I can worry about it then. Oh, I finished Vampires Never Get Old. I don't think I told you that. I know I told you I started it, but I finished it on the same day. It's a really quick audiobook, and I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it a 3.5 overall, just because most of the stories were either 3 or 4. I rated it down on Goodreads to a 3 because I would say probably more were 3 than 4, but there was definitely a couple of standouts. I'll like put them on the screen or whatever, the 3 that were like standout stories. Obviously one of them was First Kill by V.E. Schwab, and I'm really excited to see what they'll do with the show, because honestly that short story was like one episode. So, and like I feel like it would be, I mean, it could definitely be the first episode, and then like the rest of the series follows what happens after that. And like I'm so excited to see what gets done with it. But it could also be like the second or third episode, so like the first two could be like getting a bit more of the family history, and then like the story happens, and then like seeing what the consequences of it are. But either way, I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's later in the year. I think it's like autumn time. I started The Lost Hero. I was about to say by Percy Jackson. Nope. By Rick Riordan, and I'm about 150 pages into that. I'm really enjoying it. I'm buddy reading it with Lizzie, and my feelings on it so far is I'm intrigued about the Roman Greek thing that is happening. I am always a fan of his writing. It's really quick and fun and easy to get into, and I miss Percy. That's all. That's all my feelings are. Like, I miss Percy. Like, he is so sassy and so entertaining. I love being in his head, and we're not there. And I don't think he appears at all in the first book. I think it's only from the second book he appears. But I can't wait to be reunited with him. Last thing is, I am currently reading One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which is a really weird book for me to be reading, but oh well. It was like an 8-hour and like 20-minute audiobook or something. I can't remember. And I listen on 3 times speed, so it's like, oh, something to read on the bus and while making dinner and while I'm gonna be packing up all my stuff. And I'm really enjoying it so far. Like, I really like it. And like, I know everyone loves her like books that are about like fame and fortune and, you know, the life of celebrities. But this one, like, it's a romance with a bit of a twist, because it's like, so her first love of her life, they got married, she was with him for years, and he dies in like a helicopter crash. And so she's about 26, I think, when that happens, and then she spends the next few years getting her life back together, and slowly she, you know, builds up her life again. She falls in love again, and she has just gotten engaged. Everything is really exciting, and then she gets a phone call from her dead husband saying, hey, I'm alive and I'm coming back to you. And I mean, that's a tough decision to make. I really like it so far. It's not very exciting or anything, but I think it's a nice twist on a romance. So yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. Hello, so it is now Friday, and I'm trying to think of all the stuff I need to update you on. So, I spoke to you on Wednesday, and I was listening to One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Also, I don't think I mentioned it in this video, but I hit 600 subscribers, which is crazy. And I don't think it's fully registered in my mind yet, because I only hit like 500 like a couple weeks ago. So, hasn't really clicked yet, but thanks. Then I finished One True Loves on Wednesday, and I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. Not my usual thing, but it was like exactly what I needed right then. And because there's 2 love interests, and the one that I liked most was the one that won out, so even better. So overall I really enjoyed it. I thought it was definitely interesting, kind of exploring like the different kinds of love you can have in your life and how that changes as you grow as a person and all of that. And yeah, it was sweet and fun, and it did have some deep moments, and overall I had a good time with it. And yeah, so I haven't really been updating you, and I probably won't be updating you much more because I'm honestly not having the greatest week. The Peace Talk 48-hour readathon starts, and I was going to do a separate vlog for the 48-hour, but I don't think I'm going to do that anymore, and I'll just update you whenever I finish something or whatever. So yeah, that's all for now. Thanks. Hi, so I'm just here to give a bit of an update. So it is now Saturday evening, so we are halfway through the Peace Talks weekend, and I'm doing pretty good so far. I've reread the Shades of Magic comics, and I gave all of them 4 stars. I really enjoy them. They're not my favorite, and I think I gave 1 or 2 of them 3 stars the first time I read them, but I bumped them all up to 4 stars this time. I don't absolutely adore the art style in there, but I think I actually picked up on a lot more connections to the original series this time than I did the first time around, so I think I appreciated it just a little more, but I still don't absolutely adore them. Then I also read Bryony and Roses by T. Kingfisher, which is a short 200-page book, and I also gave that 4 stars, I think. No, did I give it 3 stars? No, I think I gave it 4 stars, and I think there was just nothing really too special about it. It was a pretty standard Beauty and the Beast retelling, but there was like some slight twists on it, and there was like a really big like gardening kind of element in it, which I didn't know, and it was interesting enough. And yeah, I did like the twists, but it took until like near the very end for them to actually play a role in the story. And then I also read The Lion with the Witch and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis, and I haven't given that a rating so far because it's hard to rate like those kind of older, more classic stories because there's definitely issues with it, but I still overall enjoyed it, so I'm thinking either a 3 or a 4 stars. I'm not 100% sure. Like, it was pretty rushed at the end, but also it's a kid's story, so you wouldn't want a really detailed battle scene because you don't want to scar children. I will say I prefer the movie slightly, but I grew up watching the movie, whereas this was my first time ever reading the book. But I did really like the writing style. It was very straightforward, but it had definitely a touch of whimsy to it, and like it was a narrator that was just like had a bit of sass to it. I enjoyed that. As I said, there was definitely like a couple comments that I'm like, and it did annoy me at one point that Santa Claus basically tells Lucy and Susan, oh, you're not allowed in the battlefield because it gets messy when women are involved. And I'm like, ah. So it's just like little things like that I was like, oh, I didn't like that. But overall, enjoyed that. Then I also read the second book in the Polar Bear Explorers Club, which is Explorers on Witch Mountain, and I gave that a 3 stars. I liked it less than the first one. I was just pretty bored throughout it. I definitely still love Alex Bell's writing style and the atmosphere and the whimsy and just like the absolute creativity of this world she has created, but I just didn't really care for the plot, wasn't very invested. And then I read almost the entirety of Call of the Bone Ships because we had a live show for it about an hour ago. And yeah, I gave that a 2 stars. I hated that book so much, and I'm not looking forward to continuing, but I own the last book, and I'm obviously a co-host for the live show, so I will continue. But yeah, not a good time. Hi, so I'm just here to wrap this up. So I don't remember what I last told you about. I think I might have been Call of the Bone Ships. And then after that, I read the 3 volumes of Skyward, which is a graphic novel about no gravity existing. And so that like covers like the magical readathon prompt of set in the future, and plus they were quick. So they were grand. I gave them all 3 stars. Nothing really special, but I did like the art style. I thought it was very pretty. It's just a story. Didn't really care that much. And then I also read the final book. Well, it's not really the final book. The 3rd book in the Polar Bear Explorers Club. And because the next book in the series is about a different explorer club. And I gave that a 3 stars as well. So a lot of 3 stars happening. And yeah, I don't think the 2nd and 3rd one had the same magic that the first one did. But they were still good, they were still whimsical, and they were still really quick reads. But just didn't absolutely adore them. But yeah, so that is all. And so that is all. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, subscribe. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.